And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we are talking about example, the power of example. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are going to like this video. I literally was just listening to a 4-minute song on YouTube, and I decided, you know what, I want to write down the names of all the people that I can think of that changed or shaped my life in any form to make me who I am today. In terms of, mostly it's, principles that I learned, principles that I was taught. Someone who, I can give you guys a few stories, and I'm going to do that today, but you know how many names I came up with in those 4 minutes? And would be a pretty cool exercise for you to do, is who changed your life for the better? Who influenced you to become who you are today? Although, we always have negative self-talk and we're not where we want to be, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, in some way, shape, or form, you like you. There are parts about you that you enjoy, that you like, and you have some form of self-worth. Someone shaped you into who you are today, right? And then someone's going to shape you continuously into who you will become later. But the power of influence, the power of being an example, oh my gosh. I came up with 36 names in 4 minutes. How many names can you come up with? Okay, and I'll mention just a few of them here today. This is just random, but I remember when I was 11 years old. I hadn't played much sports, I had played soccer a little bit, I'd played a little bit of basketball, but then, a little bit, and I was going to basketball camp. That basketball camp, and although this is just a sport, like who gives a rat's, whatever, I watched my brother play, my brother Boris, okay? And this is just a small thing, but I saw him have the ball, and he went up there, and he did like this reverse layup, and he jumped like really high up in the air. He's just a teenager. He's like, 6 years older than me, 17 years old at the time. And he missed, okay? But the movement in the air was just like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. It made me fall in love with the sport. From then on, I literally practiced on my own every summer, every day for hours, okay? Until I got a pretty good shot, and I ended up playing basketball for years, okay? That was a power of example. Even though he wasn't even trying to be an influence of me, that was an influence. Who are you influencing? Another one. When I was 14 years old, I had a behavior problem, okay? Up until that time, I'd been like a good boy. I always listened to my parents. I was the youngest child. Everyone loved me, blah, blah, blah. But then when I became 14, I got some bad examples. I got some bad friends. And I started doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do, right? Never got too much out of hand, but I tried alcohol. Never ever gotten drunk in my life, but I tried alcohol. And I smoked a few cigarettes, just to see how it is. I'm 14 years old, I'm exploring, whatever. Bro, they were introducing me to naked pictures and all that stuff. I was beginning to move towards, I want to be cool, And because I was thinking maybe that will help me get more girls and all that stuff. Being 14 years old, I don't know, you guys probably had a phase that you went through as well. But I had perfect grades in school. Not that I encourage perfect grades in school, because I hate school and all sorts of formal schooling, and you should get out of there as soon as possible. But me keeping on track with success, okay, kept me on track to know I had the self-worth and the self-excellence to pursue other measures in the future that had nothing to do with school. But the fact that he just got me on the right track from basically, I want to be a bad guy, bad boy, manage to get all the girls, to becoming like, no, I have better potential in this, was one teacher. One teacher. He didn't have to do this, but he literally took me out, I think it was like right before recess or something like that. It was, like a half an hour break between the classes or whatever. After class, he takes me aside. He's like, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I sit down, and I'm cool, right? And he was my favorite teacher, and he was actually the main teacher for us. And he said, what are you doing? Like, why are you throwing away your life like this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? bro, I know you're an A student. I know that you are, like, you've got so much potential, so much going for you, and you're literally throwing it all away just because of some friends that you've got. And I was just like, I just woke up. I was just like, gosh dang, you're right. And you know what? My parents, they moved that year, and it gave me a fresh start. I stopped doing all those things. I was like, I'm not going to do any of that crap anymore, and I'm going to stay on the straight and narrow, and I'm going to just become a ballistic missile. And I did, right? It's taken me a lot of years to get the success that I wanted to get, but, that's for another story. But that was powerful. He took me aside. He didn't have to do that, but he did. Other guys, Robert Kiyosaki, completely transformed and changed my life understanding passive income. Holy crap! Him writing Rich Dad Poor Dad, man, you have to read that book if you haven't read it. Not that I encourage people to read books if they're actually being coached by me, but if you're not being coached by me and you're never going to be coached by me, then yeah, read that book, okay? But, I can tell another story another day why you shouldn't be reading books if you're actually being coached, because you're getting a tailored route for where you should go. And sometimes we get too much information, and the information, we don't need all that information. We just need some key aspects to our next step, okay? But if you don't have a coach or a mentor, you need to accumulate as much information as you can, especially the important information. So there are some books that you should read 10 times. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of them. And he completely changed my life with that book. I began to understand that money is not the root of all evil. Even love of money is not the root of all evil. Okay? Like, it got me on track. There's tons of others. There's religious leaders. Not that I listen to all of the principles that they taught, but oh my gosh, some of the principles that they've taught me have definitely given me some power in the information that I teach. There's so many names that you guys won't even recognize. John C. Maxwell, even though, like, I don't really... The fact that he wrote those books, okay, the five levels of leadership, etc., etc., like, I've read all of them. Jim Collins, Jackie Chan, I put him on that list. It's crazy. Him being so entertaining, so funny, and so, like, loving and kind, and just, like, everyone who's worked with him in Hollywood has always bragged about how amazing it is to work with him. And I loved his movies, and guess what? I wrote him a letter when I was, like, 10 years old or something, and he flippin' replied. Obviously, it wasn't him who replied, but he put in systems so that his fan base would get a reply if they wrote to him, which I thought was amazing. I got a picture with his signature and all that stuff, and I still have it till this day. Nomad Capitalist. I don't really, he's a nice dude and all that stuff, but I don't really care about Andrew Henriksen, but he changed my life, okay? From guiding me towards where I was going to live for the next few years. 3 years ago, I had no idea where in the world I was going to live. Had no idea. Except for the fact that I knew I was going to live in America, but then we came to the point where I don't really want to live in America, right? And I needed to find a place for my family where we'd be safe, where, low cost, low taxes, all that stuff. And I didn't know about the gem known as Georgia. Georgia, Eastern Europe. No one's told me about this country. I had no idea what is in this country. I don't know what the rules, regulations, all that stuff. Man, it is almost paradise, like, in so many different ways. And it's a gem that no one knows about, which is maybe why it's still paradise. But yeah, wow. Okay, Nomad Capitalist. If he had not made his YouTube channel, if he had not talked about how amazing Georgia is, if he hadn't explained the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle, which I enjoy, I would not have been able to go to Georgia, and I was influenced by his videos to make that jump, and man, am I grateful that I did that. Do you see what I'm saying? All these people have influenced my life in some shape or form and guided me to where I am today, enjoying my life, enjoying what I have. Man, I'm so grateful. So grateful. Who are you grateful for? But more importantly, who is going to put you on their list in the future, in the next 5, 10, 20, 40 years? I have 36 people on this list from 4 minutes. If I took 1 hour, I'd probably come up with 200, 300, 400 names, right? Each of those people influenced me in some degree, shape, or form, and some more than others, obviously, and some in terms of bigger things. But oh my gosh, imagine if you're one of those people that are the main people who changed someone's life. I hope that I can be that for you. I hope that I can be that for someone. And yeah, just a couple of more names that I wanted to mention. Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill. My gosh. Yeah, and you know what? I'll end this video with mentioning Luista, man. You're the boss. Seriously. 3 years ago, I had no one, okay? It was me, my wife, and that was it. That was it. Dang. I haven't had that on the... I'm gonna edit this out. He said yes. He freaking said yes. $300. I told him if he doesn't sign up, I gave him $200. I said, if you sign up today, no, if you sign up at this phone call or within an hour or something like that, then you'll get it for $200. And he didn't sign up within an hour, but he called me after like 2 or 3 hours. And he said, can I still get the discount? And I said, no. And he's like, it's fine, man. Let's go. It's been around for freaking 3 years. He changed my life. So, dang. Love you, man. Thank you for supporting Men of High Value, the 3 in Love movement. It's been 9 years. 6 years. No one really knew or supported the movement. But we're at it. And it's happening, man. It's happening. It's going to be the greatest movement this world has ever seen. Ever seen. And we're going to make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are all